To another story we're closely following today. Germany is set to approve new security guidelines, which include the first increase in troop numbers since the Cold War. A leaked document shows the country is eyeing a boost in defence spending and is aiming to become a driving force in global security. A joint EU defence strategy could also be one of its aims, as RT's Peter Oliver reports.
Well, this does look like a major move away from the type of policy we saw here in Germany in the decades after World War II. However, over the last 20 years or so, we have seen a number of small steps being taken that's brought us to where we are today. There were changes after reunification in 1994, when it became law that the Bundeswehr, as they're known, were allowed to operate outside of the territorial borders of Germany. We saw many troops going to Afghanistan. In 2006, there was a major revamp of the German Navy, seeing that brought up to scratch with some of the major naval fleets in the world. And in 2011, Germany became the largest arms dealer in Europe. In 2015, 6% hike in defence spending was announced over the next 5 years. And in 2016, what we've just seen in the most recent days was the announcement that Germany will play a key role when it comes to being part of that rotating NATO force in Eastern Europe. Well, despite Germany's political willingness to want to be a major player when it comes to defence, the German Chancellor's opinion and the opinion of the people on the street here in Berlin do seem to differ.
We find it very important that this year our defence spending will go up to 1.2%, and we wish to also give importance to defence in the future.
There's too much expenditure on military. It's really about using the money for better purposes than spending too much money on things that kill people.
They shouldn't be stocking up the military too much, because obviously they have to invest in other things as well.
Germany should spend the money on other causes, such as helping refugees, instead of the military.
Well, amid claims that this is being done, this increase in German military spending is being done because of Russian aggression. I even heard some people yesterday saying that it was because of the British exit from the EU that Germany had to cement their place as #1 when it came to military in Europe. But despite all of that, it does seem that this is what we're going to see, that Germany is going to push forward with this idea that they can be the top dog when it comes to not only the economy, but also when it comes to defence in Europe.
Peter Oliver there, who'll be keeping a close eye on that as the day develops. Well, we also spoke to a retired German colonel who says that no reason exists to justify Berlin's military expansion.
It is not necessary to increase militarization for economic reasons. Germany is not threatened. The only possible threat would be nuclear weapons. But countries that have nuclear weapons, Russia, France, the UK, China, none of them pose a threat to Germany. So there's absolutely no reason for us to try to be ahead, and we should never forget that the people of Europe know very well that we started 2 world wars in the last century, resulting in millions of victims. No one has forgotten that, especially not Benelux or France, and it would be good if we focus primarily on peaceful development, not military. I must emphasize that force solves no problems in today's world. It only creates new ones.
The man who steered the EU through the financial crisis has got a new job at the bank accused of concealing Europe's real level of debt. Former EU President José Manuel Barroso is to be a non-executive chairman at Goldman Sachs International, which made a fortune through complex deals disguising what Greece really owed. Some European Parliament members describe the appointment as shameful and accuse Barroso of generating doubts over the integrity of democratic politics. Here's what RT's finance guru Max Kaiser had to say about it.
There are no laws if you're in the bankster class. Barroso knows that. He knows that's the big payday. It's a horrible precedent. All these bureaucrats in the EU, European Commission, or David Cameron, or George Osborne, or Tony Blair, is the model for this. You leave office, you cash in. JP Morgan has now hired Tony Blair to go around the world, extract wealth for their clients. Now Barroso's part of this club, and money does strange things to people, and when you can borrow money at 0% interest rates and you have no risk when you make bets that go wrong because the state will bail you out. The only MEPs that are unhappy are the ones that were not picked to work for Goldman Sachs conducting fraudulent deals. They all want to do the exact same thing. That entire body is a recruiting pool for Goldman Sachs corrupt bankers, JP Morgan banksters. That's all. They're just applying for a job. They want to do the Tony Blair, cash in the prime ministership for a big fat paycheck. That's their mindset. It's incredibly corrupt. Barrasso is a proud member of this group. He wears his colors proudly. Yes, I'm corrupt. I'm Barrasso. Give me more money. I don't care because there's no laws that apply to me.
A quarter of an hour into the program, lots more news and views coming up right after this.